before leaving Glendhu. Gorgeous morning. Good boy. And right, good boy. Well, that wasn't my pee bottle getting smashed. Made a bit of a mistake there. I started descending too soon to find this path. Should have stuck to the shore a bit longer. Kind of misjudged it. It's a lot easier on the path, trust me, when you find it. So last night in the tent and this morning is kind of what you'd imagine when you dream of doing these walks, because it was just perfect. No midges, there was a breeze but I could shelter behind a wall, look at the view, have my breakfast, dog on one side, stove on the other, you know, just perfect. A good night as well. Hearing snipes like drumming, you know, the mating call or whatever it is. First heard that on the Pennine Way. It sounded like they were next to the tent last night. It got a bit annoying and eventually the dog got fed up with it and started barking too. But you know, it's nice to have all that stuff. That's why we're out here doing it. So that big waterfall, we're heading up behind there and above that waterfall, and then over the hill behind, well, round the western side of it. Anyway, a fair bit to go before we're doing that, eh? So that's Glendhu Bothy. Just checking the map. So we want to come a little bit, we're coming south, a little bit inland. So we're heading to the left of this lump here, I think. It's all a bit Lord of the Rings here. Expect to see some dwarfs soon. So I've met a few folk doing the Cape Wrath Trail now. Most of them have done the alternative route. Why would you want to miss out this though? And I guess the answer is they've been on the trail for a lot longer than me, and the mindset's going to be different. Probably just want to crack on and finish. I mentioned the alternative route because it's worth pointing out that no one that's done it coming from the south have said they've enjoyed it. In fact, they've hated it. So there is a bit of a trail here, but I just took a heavy fall there, fell onto my knee, thankfully my good knee, and it still works, so Just got to be careful. Left, good boy. So now the climbing starts again. We've got to climb above that waterfall, so I went far too west up here on the other side there. Had to swing back. Basically, I think aiming for this tree but cut up before you get to it. I had to cross at that tree to kind of backtrack a bit. But this is us back on a path now, well, down there, as you can see. So after my cock up there, once you're onto the path, it becomes a super well engineered path, zigzagging up, and it's actually really nice walking, especially after what we've been doing. So we've come out onto this plateau, and I'm expecting to reach a junction at the end of this loch, and I'm taking a sharp left back over round the other side. Worried we were going to get blasted with the wind on coming over the pass, coming to the other side, but it's actually not too bad at all, thankfully. I think the dog's had enough of this shitty rain. It's not that bad, is it, Finn? Where are you going? You're leaving room for me, is that the idea? You've been super bright. Oh. So we seem to have been stuck up in the clag for quite some time on this path. It is beginning to drop a bit more now. It's quite nice to just be able to see stuff again, you know? Right, Finn. Good boy. Finally. Finn, where have you gone? Ah! Finn, no! Oh shit, good boy. Lots of nice wee camping spots along here. Well, I've climbed off the main path. I left it a bit late, so it was a dodgy fast flowing river crossing, but we got there. Heading up here now, sort of to the right of the steep ground to that pass. Looks like I've picked up some kind of path, so that's good. Good boy, Finn. You're doing really well. weather's looking a lot better over there, and that's the direction I'm heading, I believe. This is evil. We're getting pissed on. Well, as you're looking across it, snowy hills with sun on them, and we've got snowy hills with cloud on them. So again, I screwed up my navigation. I came far too low, and there's a bit of a gorge. You know, that's a lot of water coming down at speed. So this is about just over 300 metres, 320 metre contour. It clearly shows on the Harvey map crossing about here, and there's a good reason for that. You have to get that right, because it starts going into waterfalls again up there. It's just a bit mental, so this is probably the safest place. Oops. Right, Finn, good boy. And that blue sky has arrived. Look at that. And I've just got the sun on me right now. Oh, what a difference. In that time it took us to faff getting across, finding a place to cross that river. It's all cleared up. Right, I was planning on camping somewhere down by the River Oykel there, but yeah, probably go a bit further down. Let's do it. So it's 7:30 and I've only just stopped faffing around with stuff. Obviously cooking food and trying to dry stuff out a bit. Feel pretty tired, like that was a full-on day for me anyway. We were camped up down by the River Oykel, lovely spot. The weather kind of was iffy for most of the walking, but it's turned out lovely at the end. And a few mistakes, navigation, minor navigation errors, managed to rectify. Probably the first proper river crossing with a dog. What else? Oh, I fell on my knee as well. That was a bit scary because that could have gone pretty badly. The way I fell as well, kind of twisted and slid down the hill a wee bit. Always fine though, so that's lucky, I would say. So yeah, I think we'll sleep tonight. Good morning, this is day 5. Should be a much easier day. Still going to be fairly long, but a lot easier, because basically we're following the River Oykel down all the way to Oykel Bridge, and then down to the schoolhouse Bothy is the plan. Let's see how that goes. The wee Garmin device has just told me he's just coming up from the campsite up onto to get onto the path again. I've hit my step count, So yesterday we actually crossed Scotland's watershed, because when I started I was by the Atlantic Ocean basically, Loch Glendhu, and we've come over, and this is the River Oykel that flows into the North Sea. So there you go. In fact, Oykel Bridge itself, which we go to, is only about something like 4 or 5 miles from where it becomes tidal, which is technically the east coast. So if you want a really easy coast to coast walk, so I've just been chatting to another guy doing the Cape Wrath Trail north, and he's actually going to go up the Munros, but he's got his border collie as well. So we're comparing notes about camping with border collies. It does seem like they're all the same. So Finn's fired off down there because he's seen a beach, or what he considers a beach, and he associates that with me throwing sticks into the water for him, which ain't happening today, Finn. No. Let's go walkies. Don't know why I bothered with that bridge. You'd have got just as wet going through the river. So this is where we came down on that left hand path. That's the alternative route going off up to the right, up to the east of Ben More. Complete scenery change, a lot softer down here. We've left the rugged mountains behind. Just been chatting to another Cape Wrath Trail walker, Stuart, coming north. He's also got 2 border collies, but not with him. They're 14, so he's had to leave them at home. He's missing them. Preparing a stick for play. Ready, Finn? Go get it! I swear the dog can read my mind, because how did he know I was coming off the track and heading down there? Has he been looking at my maps? Because this is the route I'd picked out. You're scary, Finn. Go get it. The focus of a border collie. Watch this. Finn, do you need a drink of water? Go get a drink of water. He looks, acknowledges he's heard, says bugger that, I've got a stick to collect. Yeah, when I was planning this part, I did intend to come down there and get to the river sooner, because otherwise it's forest track up there. And Stuart was just telling me the bit down to Salakie's all like felled and you're walking over tree stumps and stuff. This is also better for the dog's paws. He had a pretty rough day yesterday on all that quartzite, so he seems to be doing fine, like, but the less of that the better, I think. The dog's not enjoying this gravelly road. This is Oykel Bridge. Oykel Bridge Hotel is a public bar. Let me in with my dog, served me some lunch and a coffee. I'm super happy. Not allowed a pint until next Monday, and well, you are, but not indoors, so I wasn't going to be sitting outside in this with a pint. So maybe I'm not an alcoholic after all. Okay. So these wee details are important and stuff like this. That was a portobello mushroom burger, chips, side salad that was nice and fresh, and a coffee. Oh wow. So a lass walking south to north, who I met just before I got to Oykel Bridge Hotel. She was saying she's staying there for 2 nights because she was ahead of schedule, so she's taking a wee rest day even though she was out walking again. But she says it's a really accommodating place. I mean, they've got the posh restaurant part for hotel folks, but they do definitely cater for backpackers for sure. It's meaning to say they have like single rooms for backpackers. It's worth knowing about if you're planning this. So add one more border collie owner to the list of Cape Wrath Trail walkers I've met. There's some lovely pockets of old Caledonian pine here, and obviously some regeneration going on as well. It's a nice wee bit of walking actually. So there's been a lot of track walking on this section most of the day really, so if you find yourself behind schedule or you're trying to do it in the minimum number of days for whatever reason, and this is a bit where you go fast, I guess. So there's the schoolhouse Bothy there. There's a fucking car park next to it for whatever reason. That really puts me off. Fair play. I'm convinced about camping here. It's 4.4 miles on to Knockdamph. Not as nice as Bothy, but I'm camping outside. What do you reckon, Finn? Should we head on? So that wee bench I filmed is just there. I've come the wrong way. I have to backtrack. I don't know why. Instinctively just went straight on, which is stupid. Check the map, Scott. Different scenery again, isn't it? That's boggy, Finn. Let's go this way. That's just boggy both ways, isn't it? It does look a bit brighter over to the west, and that's what was forecast. That's part of the reason why I continued, maybe. Instead of staying at schoolhouse. I don't know, that car parked outside set me off, didn't it? And then the moleholes, and I just thought, yeah, no thanks. Oh, and the fact a van had driven past me and hadn't come back as well. I kind of want to get away from that. So there's Knockdamph Bothy down there. And this wee gorge behind it, I was curious about. I quite fancy pitching down there because there's a bit of a cold easterly. That'll be nice and sheltered. There's a water spot as well. A bit different again, a bit enclosed, but I don't think I have to worry about sheep too much here. I've passed some, but not close by. We've actually ended up doing about 22 miles today, going away from the original plan of staying at the schoolhouse Bothy. Just felt too early to stop there, and felt good. The dog was happy, wasn't that keen on staying there by a car park. I'm really happy where we've ended up in this wee gorge. I think a couple of guys had mentioned this to me before actually, but a really nice spot, so and sheltered from that easterly wind. So tomorrow was originally going to be a 16.5 mile day down to Inverlael, where I get a lift to the chalet for a couple of nights, have a 0 day. So that's good. That's now been shortened to a little over 12 miles, which is great, you know. and that's where I'll be the dog's last day. The reason for that is, like, after Ullapool I'm on my own, I don't have support anymore. You know, I had the folks staying at the chalet for contingency as well, you know, that's gone, so I don't really want to take any risks with a dog without any backup. Mostly packed. I'm going to try and, this rain only, it's been coming and going, so I'm kind of hoping it's going to go again before we go. So 7:25 and we're off. I needed a crap trying to pack the tent and not shit myself, because you can't be pooing by a water source, especially not a Bothy's water source. It's just not the country code. Always harder packing up a tent in the rain, especially when the dog doesn't want to get out of it. This is Finn when he sees deer, he goes a wee bit nuts. It's really difficult to walk, I end up shouting at him. Finn! Quiet! And he's totally blanking me. This looks like more forest regeneration going on with the fence. Those deer were on the wrong side of it. Or maybe they're deliberately there, I don't know. Right, Finn, are you calm now? Am I calm now? Jeez, oh, that's better. I can drag sideways into the bog. How beautiful is this? See, the path's just on the other side of that fence, unless that's just what the deer have made. I've got a proper heather bashing. At least we're back onto some sort of path. The gorge is just down there on the right. Looks stunning. A really, really nice spot. I can hardly speak. Hats off, jackets open. I daren't take the jacket off because it will just start raining again. But yeah, it's nice and mild, sheltered out of that wind now as well. How cool is this? This is the sort of walking I really enjoy. Never mind your summits, honestly. And it's, paths are not the best, like, you have to really watch. Awesome! Fancy a swim? Well, my answer is no. Not intentionally anyway. So we've got to cross this river at some point. I just putting my trust in the Harvey maps again because it did so well last time, but That burn flowing in that you can see there, it's going to be where my thumb is on the map. See, they're heading up the map towards the south. I've got it upside down. So I'm probably going to be crossing this in about a few hundred metres. And I believe that's the sun. Woohoo! It's nicely threaded here, so we decided to just start crossing. We're aiming for that ruined building, I believe. There. Keep pointing at the sky. And start kind of contouring around the side of this hill ahead of us. Much easier walking here. It's obviously improved land, isn't it? That thing's obviously for animals, I think, but this looks like a proper dwelling. Just wonder how long it's been abandoned for. Check this out. Looking back over where we've climbed up from. We're heading up here. So that ascent back there was pretty rough going. I found it tough, a bit of fatigue kicking in I think, and the dog was squeaking at me when we started to climb, so that was a bit of a concern. Like, he squeaked at me a couple of times yesterday in the long gravel track as well. Kind of glad it's his last day. I think he's ready for a bit of a holiday with Grandma and Grandad. There's this wee cairn here. That's the Ben Kills over there, I think. It's a bored dog. Some gorge. Have fun. Good boy. Come down to this now. The Harvey maps have you going to the right here, but a guy's just given me a bit of advice, a local guy from the sounds of it. Suggested this track here takes you down to the lower forestry road. It cuts out the big zigzags. You might want the big zigzags if you're coming up the hill, but I'm going down, and as long as my knees can cope with it. Nice, that was a good call. Really grateful for that guy giving me that advice. You know, I don't even think it's rained here, because I saw the forecast for Ullapool was supposed to be quite nice last night, unlike where I was. So I've managed to make contact with Dad. He's coming to collect me. Arranged a 1 PM pickup, so yeah, really chuffed. Really chuffed the dog made it. 6 days. It's brilliant. Happy. Beer time, isn't it, Finn?
The Wonder and his dog. Sorry? It's okay.